Okay, we're recording.
Excellent. All right, so hi everyone, welcome to tonight's Momentum Monday call. My name is Sarah Nunn and I'm an Executive Area Manager and Independent Consultant with ARBOM. And I'm really excited to be online tonight with, I guess, some of my team members to share a bit about our amazing Leadership Academy in Melbourne over the weekend. So tonight, helping me with that, I've got Independent Consultant Julie Stencliffe, District Manager Belinda Richards and Executive District Manager Nicole Farmer. And we're all going to just share a few highlights from the various leaders that spoke. So to kick things off, I'll just sort of give you an overview. When we first arrived, we came to the foyer where you see this picture of these amazing lanterns and everything was lit up in this huge big foyer. And then we went up into the training room. And if you've ever watched the Logies or the Brownlows, you'll know exactly what room I'm talking about. So it was a huge room full of 1,000 consultants just absolutely buzzing with excitement in anticipation for the day. And the first speaker that we had was the gorgeous Danielle Stevens, and she spoke about treating your ARBOM business like $1 million business. And I guess some of her key points and tips were to be a network marketing professional and to take the business seriously. So to be successful, you will need to manage your expectations, emotions and time and focus on income producing activity. She said it all begins with you. So it's important to take accountability for your own success. So it's not up to your upline or your downline. You're fully responsible for your own success in this business. Your time must be planned, on purpose and consistent. So, you know, that's a common theme we hear time and time again, to be consistent in your business. And she also suggested to block out your calendar with the hours of operation. And I think that's really important because, especially, you know, for someone like me now that I do this full time, it is very easy to get completely distracted with other things. So that's an incredibly important tip. As we heard time and time again as well, that personal and professional growth is imperative. We must commit to this daily. She also challenged us to think about our attitudes towards success and whether we really believe that we actually deserve success. Identify why you're doing the business. It's important to have a strong why. And I think we do that actually really well. When we come into the business, one of the first things we always do is get everyone to sit down and really nut out why they're doing it. But I think it's just as important for, you know, those that have been in the business for a while to actually make sure that they're revisiting their why and keeping that at their forefront. So it's important to develop action plans and daily activities, and it's all about the activity. So you can't control people's responses, so whether they say yes or no, but you can control your own activity. And I guess this is something that I say quite often to my team is that it's, you know, you don't attach yourself to the outcome, just do the activity. She also asked us what our brand was. People buy you, not the business. You are marketing your own business. You are your own shop front. So, you know, how are you dressing? Are you turning up to all events? Are you acting like an ENVP? Her philosophy is keep the business simple. And I think anyone that knows Danny will, you know, agree that she does that very, very well. People have a lack of self-motivation and let their emotions affect their activities. So if you want to be successful, you need to consistently work on these things. And I think a huge thing, that sort of a bit of an aha moment for me was she said, being overwhelmed in this business means you have a lack of priorities. And if I think back to, you know, times when I guess I probably have been overwhelmed, it has been because I've had a lack of planning, you know, things just pile up and you feel like you're not achieving anything. She asked us if we all wanted to know the secret of success, and everyone in the audience sort of leant forward, was like, what's the secret? And she said, you actually just need to do it. You have to be in activity. You have to be doing the work. It's entirely up to you. Success begins with you. So that was sort of, I guess, the highlights of Danny's training. And then we had Ian Pritchard. So Ian really is just an amazing person. He's UK's #1 income earner, and talked all about vision and mindset. And you know, anyone that was there, I know, testament that he was just incredible. And I'm only really going to touch on this because I know Jill does want to cover this off at her area training, and I honestly have literally pages and pages of notes and just, you know, the gold nuggets that he gave us. But some of the, I guess, the high level ones are, we're only ever as good as our mindset. So, you know, what's between our two ears. So he challenges us to have a really big vision. So what is it that we really want? What does life look like for us? He asked us if we really believe that we are worth the kind of life an MVP has. You just need to do what it takes. So once again, on that whole theme of you just need to do it, short-term sacrifices for long-term benefits. And choice is a success. It's your choice to be successful. So you need to lead by example and lead from the front. Leaders are visionaries. They paint a picture of what is possible for other people in the business. You are the constant in your own business. You are the foundation. People join people who know where they're going. So once again, a common theme was, you know, what are you feeding yourself? We are the product of what we're reading, so make sure that you're continually on that journey of personal development. Being successful is a mindset and an attitude. Be totally unrealistic about what is possible and get totally uncomfortable. He also focused on the process, said to focus on the process and not the outcome. When we don't share with people, we've made it about us. And I know Jill and I had that conversation on the plane on the way home about, you know, making this about us and, you know, just to go out and share it with as many people as that we can. You have to be willing to do what it takes. He encouraged us to declare to everyone where we're going and where we want to be in our future. There are two pains in life, the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. And I thought that was just so true. We don't need confidence, we just need courage. Don't base your future goals on your past experiences. Every day is a new day, which I really, really loved. You won't be successful if you play it safe. Run your business with a sense of urgency, and you'll be willing to make mistakes. So he really said you need to be willing to fail forward. And he said in his career he has made many, many mistakes, but he's just kept going. He encouraged us to go away and think about what are the 3 things we're willing to sacrifice in order to be successful in the business. And, you know, that may be TV or you know, something like that. You have to be willing to work hard for little money in the beginning. And I think a lot of us that have been in for a while understand that. Be willing to be uncomfortable, to have balance in the future. Be willing to sponsor losers and sponsor winners. And that got quite a laugh from people. Be bigger than your fears and bolder than your challenges. Be stronger than your disappointments, and be willing to be here in 5 years' time. So as a bit of an Eric Worre catchphrase, he said, we have a better way. It's not perfect, but it's just better. So I guess that's a bit of a wrap up from Ian. He was truly amazing, and you know, I highly recommend. We've got the opportunity to be on a coaching call with him, and I really encourage everyone to jump on and try and register for that and be on that coaching call, because he really was just amazing. So I'm now going to hand you over to Julie Stinklev. You might just have to unmute yourself, hun. Are you? Yeah, cool.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'll start again. The day for me was, I guess, really amazing. It's the first actual large Arbonne event that I've been to, having only been in the business for a very short period, and seeing so many people passionate about what they do in one room was just really mind-blowing for me. And meeting the EAM VPs and listening to them talk for the day was fairly amazing. So I'm going to give you some of the highlights from Tamlin and Andrew's talk, and they, if you've never seen them before, they really bounce off each other really well. They're very different to each other as speakers, and got a lot of laughs in the room along the way. And they spoke about finding and inviting prospects. So what they talked about was that it's actually a skill to find people, and one of the techniques that we have is around our lists, and they gave a lot of tips on how to work those lists. And really, if you're not working with lists and they're written down lists, then you're really not being a professional network marketer. There's kind of 3 levels of people that want to go out and find people with their lists, and that is that they're a poser, as Tamlin called, which is about when you're making a mental list but you're not actually writing anything down. If you can get above that, you're an amateur, and you're writing your list down, but you're not working your list, you're not adding to it, and you're treating it like a very stagnant piece of paper, if you like. And the 3rd level, of course, is your professional level. And that's what they were encouraging all of us to be around, building our skill to find people. And that was making sure that we make those lists. Who do we know? And then who do those people know? And then it was about not just keeping that list as something that you refer to every now and again. It's a list that you really need to be adding to. And you really need to add to that list 2 people per day, and then keep in touch with those people and start working the list. And those 2 people that you keep adding every day, who do they know? And start adding those as well. They talked about making the time to make lists, activity and income producing activity being absolutely critical. However, making the list and working the list is something that we all need to do and make the time to actually do it. Building rapport and relationships when you're finding new people, and it could be that you've run into someone at the local supermarket, at the bank, at a kid's school, at a sporting event. Sometimes it's not easy to actually get someone's mobile phone number from them, but usually you can get their name, and they were talking about actually then befriending them on Facebook as a way to commence and get more of a dialogue going with those people. And then following them up on Facebook with some messages as well. They talked about being an active participant in life makes you more interesting, and people will gravitate to people that they think are interesting and that they've got a story to share. And if you can be so happy that when others look at you, they become happy too, that's a statement of how you're behaving in the business. When it came to inviting people, once you've found your prospects...
Excuse me, Julie, I hate to interrupt because you've got such a beautiful flow going on, but would you mind speaking up just a bit, or just pull your laptop a little bit closer so you're a bit closer to the microphone?
No worries, I'm actually on headphones, so it should come through reasonably clearly.
Yeah, the volume's just a little bit low.
Is that okay? I'll pull it up a bit closer.
Sorry.
Is that better? So inviting people is a real gateway skill. And they talked about stop hunting people. So it's not about, I guess, lining people up through your sights or your target of your gun. You really are trying to become a professional network marketer. So it's not spray out a whole lot of bullets and see who you can hit. It's about having a really positive and professional mindset to share those stories and share your story with people. And again, it came back to brand. Who are you? What are you putting out there to people? Are you, I guess, exciting? Are you a happy person? Are you positive? Are you passionate? Are people going to gravitate towards you? And would you join yourself? If you stepped out of your body for a while and you weren't running your business, do you actually have the qualities that you would join? Because people join people. The 4 emotional rules around inviting to detach yourself from the outcome. So there's going to be lots of no's, but you go through the process. Focus on the process, not focus on the outcome, and detach yourself from the outcome. The second emotional rule was be the best self you can be. So your best self, what are you portraying out there? Don't pick up the phone and start to ring people if you're having a really down day. It will come out in your voice. Be up and bouncy and walking around when you're on the phone. Be busy, be vibrant, and put passion into everything that you do, and really portray that positive energy. Again, that branding, that's so important as to how we put ourselves out there and portray the business. So I guess the nuggets that I got from their talk was very much around, it's about who you are, what you're putting out there. You need to network on purpose. You need to be the best professional network marketer that you can be. And you need to make the time to make those lists and keep those lists out there in your pieces of paper that you have. Keep adding to it. It's a dynamic list that you need to keep working on every day. 2 people minimum every day, and then who do they know? And keep working it and working it and working it. So that's what I got from their talk. And the next speaker that came on was Kari Burke, and I think watching Kari throughout the day was really quite amusing because they had their youngest daughter there, and at times she really wanted to be involved in the day, which made everyone in the room smile when Jay and Kari's daughter was participating in the talks that were going on, and she was sort of being bounced up and down the front of the stage every now and again when things were getting a little out of control. But it really demonstrated to everyone there the number of people that were juggling this business with young families and not missing out on such a great day like Saturday, still bringing their kids along and little babies just so that they could be there to listen to these great speakers. So Kari's topic was on about presenting the products and the opportunity was her topic. And the first key point that she really talked about was don't try and be an expert on everything. We all get really frustrated with people that know everything, try and portray they know everything. You're going to fall over yourself if you try and say that you know everything that there is to know about the products. Particularly, we're not scientists, and it's really about helping people understand this business is simple and that duplication is the key. So if we start trying to portray ourselves as experts in the makeup of the product, experts in everything that there is to know in this business, we're going to frighten people off because they will look at us and say, I can't do that. It's not something that I'm competent at doing myself. The keeping it simple rule is very much directed to about how we absorb information. So if we're going to have verbal diarrhea at people, they're actually going to only ever absorb no more than probably 20% of what we're saying to them. In using the tools that we have, Kari was very, confident in making sure that we've got the tools there, that we're familiar with the tools, and that we practice. The PowerPoint presentation, learning the basics of the PowerPoint for the opportunity presentation, keeping it simple again. Don't go into verbal diarrhea again over absolutely everything that's there. Learn some key points. Listen repeatedly to recorded DAs. There's hundreds of them out there. The more you listen to different people do the opportunity presentation, the more familiar you'll get with it, and you'll get your own style and your own little nuggets that you'll pick up from others. Another tip she gave, which is one I haven't done yet because I really freak out when I hear my own voice recorded, is recording yourself and then playing it back and listening to yourself, but also asking those around you to give you feedback on how you're delivering the presentation. When I first started in the business, I asked my sister if I could have her as a guinea pig, and I did a presentation with her by Skype. And I trusted the feedback that she was going to give me, which was really, really useful early on. And it was really non-threatening having my sister give me the feedback too. When it comes to the products, your experience of the product speaks louder than your words. Again, it's about storytelling. It's about using your own testimonials. By personalising it, people will connect with you more, and being able to connect with your story, they can then see themselves in it. Listening to people throughout the presentation, if they start asking questions, is critical, and being able to, I guess, empathise with where they are in their life as well. Kari talked about different reach out methods, and talked about business launches in the early stages, and again thinking about duplication. Her advice around the business launch was to keep it smaller and do more of them. So rather than having a cast of thousands at a business launch, keep it to the top sort of 3 to 5 people that you want to have in your business, and hold multiple events with just those, with 3 to 5 people, rather than have sort of 20 or 30 people there. Again, keeping it simple. Don't cater with massive amounts of food or home cooked things that people think, I can't do this in my house. You know, a glass of champagne if you're that way inclined, or a cup of tea and some biscuits and cake and things like that is more than enough. When she talked about the one-on-ones, she said to make sure that they actually know that this is a business opportunity that you're going to be talking to them about. So don't set them up to fail in the first place and get them there, I guess, under false pretenses. Let them know that it is a business opportunity, and try and keep your small talk to a minimum, particularly early on. Otherwise, you'll spend the first hour catching up on all sorts of other things, and be very distracted about doing the presentation. It's getting very dark in my room, so I'm just going to peer at my notes here. The group presentations, again, the opportunity meetings, using the Discover Our Bonds to bring your guests to, maximising all of those different reach out methods, product presentations, again, great to get into other areas. So keep people engaged in a new product that's coming up, get small groups together again. And again, tell them your story. Tell them why you're in this business. Give them an overview. Keep it not about you, but to give them a story so that they've got a picture of why you're doing this. And then again, listening, so that they can tell you in little snippets perhaps why it is that this business could be for them. So those were the 2 speakers that that I'm going to talk to you about today. I really enjoyed the entire day. It flowed beautifully throughout the day, and it really built a picture of the steps in building this business. Thanks, Sarah.
Hey, so Belinda Richard, District Manager here. Hope everyone's having a really, really great day. So following on from Kari was Sally Ritchie's, and she discussed the fortune being in the follow-up. I really, really
Sorry,
enjoyed.
Belinda, we've got the same problem with you. You'll just have to speak up or move your microphone closer to you.
Sure. Is that better?
Better. Thank you. Perfect.
No worries. So Sally was really sort of quite concise with the way that she put her presentation together, and it made perfect sense. It's very logical. So I'm just going to run through the dot points that I took from her regarding
the follow-up process that we all need to be following. So she stated here that we're in the decision-making business, and people need to decide if they're going to be product users, business users, or a really great referral source for your business. You need to get comfortable with following up and locking in a date. So make sure that you have your diary in front of you at every appointment to schedule the next appointment with them, whether that be a DA or, a follow-up from a drop-off or, a group presentation or anything like that. She asks if 2 to 3 days is going to be long enough to try the products and look at the literature, and make sure, again, have your diary in front of you, because I think it's really powerful diarising that time, physically writing it down in front of them, because it's not just sort of like getting out your phone and they can't see your screen and see what's happening. If you've got a physical diary, then that will definitely help with the process. Don't be ambiguous about how much time you'll need to follow up with them either. So if you know that it's going to take 30 minutes to get their concerns and questions on the table, then schedule 30 to 40 minutes. Don't deviate from that either. Make sure, again, it's really clear that you're going to be following up with them about the information that they've read. It's not just to catch up to have a coffee and see how their weekend was. And when you get home from your one-on-one, she always sends a follow-up email or text message with the time and the date that you've agreed on for the next meeting as well, and just a bit of a thank you as well for meeting with her, which I thought was a really great tip, because quite often you can leave a meeting and someone will go, oh, sorry, I thought that we meant, 2:00 Wednesday, and you've written down, 10 a.m. Tuesday or something like that. So at least that way you can actually have text or emailed you with the details. Have a winner's mindset. And again, that was a theme throughout the entire day, just having that real winner's mindset, that believing that they're going to join your business. So don't go in thinking, oh God, like these guys aren't going to want to join me. No point going in with that type of attitude. So believe that these people are wanting to join your business, because there's really no reason why you wouldn't want to join a business like this at all. When you do follow up again, and I think that's the importance of having your diary in front of you, also have your next exposure ready to lock in. So really stay plugged in as well to the team pages. This for me is something that I try and share with my team as well. Know when your DAs are going to be, know when your VIP days are going to be. If you've got a team event coming up to get them to, or a car presentation, then know what those dates are going to be, and make sure that you've prepared to invite them along. Keep your small talk to a minimum and honour your time and theirs, because if they think that it's going to take them 3 hours to do a coffee catch up, then they're probably not likely to go, yeah, okay, well, I've got 3 hours to sit with someone every day. If they can see that it's going to take 45 minutes to an hour, well, that's going to bring the time down a lot more, and they're going to go, yeah, that's doable. I can do that. Be prepared for objections and questions, and be prepared for a yes. So Sally says she always takes a new consultant pack with her ready to issue on the day when they do that paperwork, for them to then take that new starter pack home. Be very clear when you're doing the following up. And she actually said, I've quoted it here, don't be weird and awkward. Don't be fearful of their response. Remember, they were interested enough to take the product and the information in the first place. So make sure that you follow that process that we've got. When following up, also follow our systems. So we've got the Prosperity team site, and all the documents are there, and the Arbonne literature is all on the source. So there's no need for you to really go recreating the wheel. And something else that she flagged was really important, and again, it's a theme that we hear right throughout the day, was that you have to duplicate this. So keep it really simple. Follow the scripts, do the paperwork, keep it short, sharp and shiny, and they'll be able to duplicate that. If you go getting very convoluted and messy, then it's just too hard to duplicate down. Sally also said, always ask permission to ask them questions and share information, and never talk at them. And I really love that, because I listen to a lot of Sonia Stringer, and she says exactly the same thing. She says, always ask permission to ask questions. Don't just yap at them and have them getting confused and, overwhelmed by it all, because it's just, you want to take that confusion out of it. Regarding objections, they really just come from a lack of belief in education. So Sally used something that I've really, really loved using in the past and had forgotten actually about it. But she said, use feel, felt and found. And I know some of you have probably heard of that before. So you might have someone say, oh, I have an objection about network marketing, you know, and you could say something along the lines of, I know how you feel because I felt the same. But after educating myself on the industry, I found that really we're all networking every day, but we're just not getting paid for it. And the beauty of this business is that you get a thank you check each month just for switching your personal care products and sharing them with the other people in your life that you love. So just keeping it really real and relatable to them as well. Be empathetic. If they have an objection, ask them in a nice manner. Don't be condescending. Validate their concerns, and you know, it's not a tell-off session. Don't sort of say, oh, well, if you don't start today, what's ever going to change? You know, put it into a question form. Well, you know, if you didn't start this today, is anything going to change? You know, make it sort of more a bit of a friendly environment, I suppose. A great way to address any objections is to use the line, if that wasn't an objection, would you be interested in starting today? So again, I thought that was really powerful to use that, because a lot of people have those concerns around time and money. And again, Tamlin did a call, it was probably about 12 months ago now, and she spoke about how to overcome those objections. So you can probably go back and find that. But again, it's just all in that Eric Worre stuff that we're looking at all the time. And she also said, even if it is a no, after you've been through everything and they've still come out the other end and said, no, thank you, make sure you leave the experience as a positive one, because you never know who they will refer to you just because you've been a pleasure to deal with as well. So something that I know Rita Davenport always said, you know, you meet the same people going down as you do going up, so don't burn your bridges. That was a really important lesson as well. I really like that. And be an Arbonne ninja. She was hilarious. Just be an Arbonne ninja. Be confident and be direct, and keep to your word as well. So I thought Sally did a really great job of dot pointing that for us. And I mean, clearly she is extremely successful at what she's done. So she's proof that the system works. So just follow the system. The other speaker that I just wanted to quickly dot point was Ali Villani, and I've adored Ali Villani from day one. I just think she's totes amaze balls, as she would say. So she discussed 5 daily habits, and again, I think these are really important. So I'll just quickly whip through them. She said, practice your gratitude attitude. And I know a lot of us, myself in particular, I've been doing a gratitude journal for nearly 2 years now, and I just think it's a beautiful way to start the day, to be grateful for the things that you've got in your life, rather than the things that you don't have, because we do live in a very sort of negative media fed environment. It's much more beneficial to our being to look at the positives in life. And the positivity starts when you put your feet on the ground in the morning. So just check your attitude when you get up. If it's all doom and gloom and you want to go back to bed, then, you know, perhaps you need to restart. Serve the needs of others before you serve the need of yourself, before you serve the need of others. And she does talk about the miracle morning. And I know that, you know, there's a few of us, again, that in the business are early birds, and we get up and do our exercise and personal development and all of that. And having a 12-week-old now, this has been a lot more imperative to me personally in the last 12 weeks to get up before he does, to do all those things. Otherwise, sometimes they just don't get done. Set up a powerful and successful day by doing some of the following things. So she said, do exercise, personal and professional development, document your gratitude, meditate, and prioritize. So when prioritizing, following the rule of 3, so just prioritizing those most important income producing activities a day. So the top 3, and tick them off, she said, because otherwise, again, there's that word overwhelmed. And again, I'm, after hearing Danny speak, sort of went, yeah, she's pretty right. You can let life get on top of you if you've got this great big to-do list of 50 things and you half do stuff. Just focus on the most important 3 for that day. Each week, when you can get some time with your significant other, sit down and schedule your time for your family time and your business time, and don't deviate from that. Don't let them overlap. And try and do one thing at a time. So instead of women, we tend to multitask, and, that's all very well and good, but you're not doing anything at 100%. So just focus on that one thing and then move to the next thing. Turn off notifications on your phone and your computer as they are distracting. And the more I thought about that today, I've been really, really aware of hearing those notifications when they've come in. So I've had to turn everything to silent. And especially, I think, again, for me, having such a young family, I don't want those notifications to be distracting when I'm spending time with Angus. So I want to make sure that Shane and I have got time together to eat dinner at night, so I don't want to be checking emails. I want to have some time with him to have a bit of play and learning time as well. So that's been really important. And she's also got here just that last point as well. Meditation promotes mindfulness, spirituality, and clarity. So perhaps find a mantra or a soundtrack or something that really tickles your fancy and you resonate with, to get yourself centered for the day. And it doesn't have to be some, long-winded half an hour thing. It could be a 5-minute meditation or a 5-minute mantra that you repeat 4 or 5 times. Might just be in the shower. So yeah, I always love listening to Ali. I think she's definitely got a fantastic attitude, and again, clearly has been extremely successful at what she's done. So I'm going to take some of those pearls and implement them, going forward.
Thanks, Belle. Hi, everyone. I'm Nikki Farmer, Independent Urban Consultant and Executive District Manager. Please bear with me tonight as I've nearly lost my voice, so I'll try to be as clear as I can. Just send me a note if you need me to speak up. I feel like I'm yelling already. So I'm going to give you a bit of a brief overview of Ian's second keynote presentation. And then I'm going to briefly touch on Emily Pake's presentation, and then the MVP panel of questions, and if we've got time, some corporate information. So Ian's focus on his second presentation was to be intentional, and he posed several questions to us following an exercise he had us do on vision. And those questions were, what is your intention? And why do most of us not achieve it? But he gave us the answer as well after we did the exercise. And he said, it's because we allow other people to stop us. And then he asked us to think about what our stop was. Was it a partner, a friend, not making enough money? Just seeing a chat here. And then he went into further discussing the vision, which I believe Jill's area is actually training on tomorrow. So I won't give away any spoilers, but a key point there was that he did say that this business will be a direct result of your skills and vision, and that it was important to think outside of other people's self-limiting beliefs and visions. So really the takeaway actions from that were really to update your vision boards and to visualise your future every day. And then we had, there's so much more I could say about that, but I don't want to go into Jill's training tomorrow. But Emily Pake spoke about anything worthwhile takes time. And she joined the business in 2010, and I'll share some of the figures that she shared with us shortly. But her theme was around consistency, numbers and results. And so she also posed a question to us, and she started by asking, are you prepared to do the work? Which led into a discussion of a familiar topic we all know and hear a lot about, which was consistency. And so she quoted Jim Rohan's success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. And it's something I think we hear over and over again. So she followed up then by saying, if you do those things consistently when no one is watching, you'll end up building a very big building, a business rather, a bit like a building a very tall building. And if you're building a tall building, you need to have very big, deep foundations as well. And then she quoted Tony Robbins. She said, people are rewarded in public for what they've pictured or practiced for years in private. And she related that back to Eric Worre's 1-3-5 formula, which is, if you're not familiar with that, it's the first year of being competent. Takes a year to be competent. After 3 years, if you're being consistent, you should be able to be working the business full time if that's what you're choosing to do. And after 5 years, you should be getting a 6-figure income. And it takes 7 years to be an expert. And so this is the formula that she's used to build her network marketing business, and it's the same pattern that her business has actually followed. So she ended up giving us her numbers. And she said that after she joined in October 2010, she went DM in 3 months, and her QV was 3,275. And 6 months after going DM, she reached AM with a QV of 18,716, and she had 3 DMs direct to her. In October 2012, she promoted to RVP, and she had 61,644 QV, but she had 9 DMs direct to her and 2 AMs. In 2013, October, her QV was 20,000 less than the previous year, which she said doubt crept into her business at that point. But she'd also promoted out Danielle Stevens, as we all know, is now the second income earner in Australia. And she'd had a baby as well. But she still kept being consistent with her business. And then the following year, in 2014, she had a QV of 142,749. And the following year, which kind of blew everyone away, in 2015 of October, her success line did 1.2 million QV. So she talked about how the numbers here was, I think, her point in that the numbers don't lie, and that the numbers show who in your team are doing activity, and they're also highlighting your own personal activity as well. And then we had the NVPs do a panel, and they were answering questions that had been put forward. And so some of the key points from this was, which I think is a really nice way of summing up the whole day. So Ian's key points really were to say, decide to take adversity as a learning opportunity and immerse yourself in personal and professional development when that occurs, and really choose to find the lesson in that adversity, get that feedback, and then look for the opportunity. Emily's key points there for the panel, she said that there are no good or no bad experiences, they're just experiences. And she also talked about qualities you want to attract into your business, and I think she's done a SoundCloud on that as well. So you'll be able to find that. It was a good SoundCloud too. And then Danny's message was very simply, just don't ever give up. Kari's message was that you can't get better without personal and professional development, and there's a difference between the two. She said that personal development is skills-based training, and that professional development is getting your mindset in the right place. Sally's take-home message for her questions were that you can't ever be stuck if you change your mindset. And she also said, don't take on too much, and don't use your why as a reason not to do this business. So for example, if you're doing this business because of your children, then don't let your children stop you from doing the business. So, you know, you can't attend things because your kids are, you know, not able to let you have the time to do it, or, you know, so don't let your reason why stop you from doing the business also, because it can be one in the two things. Ali discussed putting boundaries in place when she was asked her question, and also about taking personal responsibility for any conflict that you've caused. She said that for her in this business, she said her number one job is to get along with people. And she also talked about having 2 start dates. She said the first one is the day you join the business, and the second start date is the day you start running your business. So really give yourself permission for a second start date. And finally, Andrew and Tamlin, their message was around knowing your strengths, particularly if you're a couple in the business. And they actually recommended not initially starting as a couple, but starting as individuals and then perhaps joining together. Tamlin said that if they joined together as a couple to start with, she said Andrew would have driven her crazy with frustration. They were also posed a question about how to prospect on Facebook, and their answer was to use the 4 quadrants formula when reaching out to people on Facebook. And Jane Andrews, I think, has done a training on that as well, which should be on the on Jill's page, Jill's Nation page somewhere, I think. But it's around the 4 quadrants are around the fact, belief, feel, and ask. So I won't go too much into that because if you look at Jane's training, that'll be able to get information from that. And following each of their questions, the MVPs then awarded someone in their team who had worked consistently to grow their business and with the spirit of Arbonne, a Logie Award. So that was kind of nice and kind of fun. And I did actually see them, and they're a beautiful glass panel inscripted with their award on it. So it was nice to be recognised that way. So a little bit of fun thrown in at the end. And then they had the audience got a chance to bid for coaching calls from each of their RVPs, and between everyone in the room, they raised close to $12,000 for the charitable foundation, which was pretty amazing. And that was all done in about 15 minutes. So amazing generosity and amazing value from hearing those MVPs give us those nuggets of wealth of information. And then corporate gave us statistics on Arbonne's growth, where we were positioned in direct selling. We're positioned number 6, and what the charitable foundation has raised to date. And they also said that the Gen Ys were taking over, so watch out. And of course, they also gave us statistics on the management level increases and the focus for 2016, along with a list of our top 20 products. I'm happy to post those on the page if anyone's interested specifically about those dot points. There were a lot of slides, and it would take quite a while to go through each of those dot points. And I think we are coming to the end of our time here. So I'm more than happy to post those on the page if anyone's interested in having a look at those slides. So all in all, it was a fantastic day. And well worth, jumping on a plane and going over to Melbourne to get all those little nuggets. So thanks for listening to me through my husky voice. I'm going to hand back over to Jill to close us off.
Thank you, Nikki, and thank you for putting your voice through that. Thank you, everyone, Belinda and Julie and Sarah, for summarising what was an amazing day. And I'm amazed at how well you did that. You managed to put an entire day's worth of learnings very ably into 15 minutes. You shared with us the gold nuggets, and shared with us your amazement with all the speakers. So thank you so much for doing that. If you think you missed some of the notes, then by all means listen to this training again. Rita Davenport used to say, listen to a training 7 times for it to sink in. There's an opportunity to give to the Arbonne Charitable Foundation through purchasing tickets, and you'll notice that I just at 7 o'clock posted a link. So don't dilly-dally on purchasing a ticket to see to have a coaching call with Ian Pritchard. Those of us who had a coaching call with Tamlin and Andrew Samuel last year know how beneficial that was. So make sure you buy yourself a ticket and know that that money is going to the Arbonne Charitable Foundation. So I'll sign off now. Area training tomorrow night. Make sure you show up live. If you happen to be interstate or away from Adelaide, then you'll get posted a Zoom link. But whoever area you're in, there's a training for you tomorrow night. And it's really important that you show up. You have to show up to go up. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care, everyone.